This is some serious goat's cheese from the world #1 magpie crane swan. He absolutely demolishes a 3-time World Blitz chess champion Alexander Grischuk, and he does it in 34 moves after just 10 moves earlier berating his own play. Let's check out how he did it in this titled Tuesday game, 16th of September 25. He kicks off with the king pawn. They're online, aggressive Sicilian defense, 5 minutes each per the clock times on the left. This is round 10, and of course there are many ways to block this check, but Grischuk goes for the most solid knight d7. Pawn to c3 prepares to set up the big center. Knight f6, pawn now defended. You just don't get insightful commentary like this elsewhere. Bishop backing up. Grischuk insists, get out my house. And after this one, hits the Milky Way. Plenty of targets. Magnus takes the center there. Pawn e6 sets up the shaven pawn structure. One of the hardest words to say in chess. Don't try that at home. I've practiced many times. Don't want you to get your tongue in a twist. Now we see the knight develop here. And best is queen c7. Quick sample line showing there was pressure here that black doesn't have to take. You can in fact challenge the center like this. One of the top approved lines by the Loch Ness Stockness monster. Now we see takes though. Grischuk didn't do it. He goes like this now, hitting the bishop. But bishop d3, castles, rook e1, and he never quite achieves the same central break. Fighting, could play e5 here, but doesn't. He brings the rook over, and Magnus decides to rotate with the pony, loves a little maneuver. Pawn h6, knight g3. This bishop tucking back, it's all very solid stuff, very nice. h3, counterplays on the way, but you're going to now have to weather a Magnus attack. But first, before you can say Bob Yasser Ross is your uncle, Grischuk gains some space on the queen side. Bishop e3, a5, he's going for it over there. Magnus kicks the queen. Now she slides back to the starting square, trying to keep tabs with this knight, do some defense if needed. Magnus now moves the rook again. Did he mouse slip before? Probably not. An invite to draw now is on the board really. Start doing some tickle stuff, but Magnus doesn't want it. He backs up with this guy. Dad's absolutely ashamed. What are you doing back here? Pawn a4. The point is revealed. He goes out into the world to try and make something of himself. You could take, but it's a bit risky. The queen could come streaming in. Look at the king. The pawn even. Use that as a hook perhaps. So we didn't see this. In the game, queen a5 was played, looking to do some lateral defense. Now takes with check. Knight recaptures here. And this is a very sneaky move, because you set up this threat of bishop takes, pawn recaptures, knight's then loose and drops off the board. Best way to defend against it, queen d8 actually. Not an easy move to play. Going to the square from whence you came. What do we see in the game?
Mushrooms.
Bishop e7. And as you can see, it gets the question mark. It is a mistake because Magnus has a really precise shot here. Can you find the move? He plays pawn to d5, sticking it on a square that's defended 4 times. I mean, we've not seen a move this bold since Magnus turned up in his favourite dungarees, completely flaunting the dress code, but the Global Chess Committee had approved it. He was good to go. Queen d8 was now played. Takes. He's really softening up Grischuk here, buttering him up, preparing to roast him in the oven. Gets the queen out of the way of this bishop now. Very subtle stuff. Prepares pawn e5, and Grischuk completely misses the idea, the threat, and sticks his queen on d7 to cover this pawn. He should have gone to c7 or f8 even. This was the square selected though, and it walks straight into pawn to e5. Now, why can you not just capture that pawn? It's a free one, right? Well, the problem, the D file just opened and you get whammed with this one. And however you take, doesn't really matter. You're losing the queen. Even more material can drop if you're not very careful. So, taking not possible. Knight D5 was selected instead, but mistake. Big mistake. Best was to start with this. Threaten a checkmate. The best response is F4, opening this lateral defense, and now Knight D5. Same as the game, but this time, if Queen G4, there's Knight takes on E3 here, and you haven't got the same attack as what we see in the game. Check, King F8. Actually, Black is standing better here. No time to take the Knight because you get mated. This is really the key point. So let's run back. What if Bishop E4? Sorry, I'm just wondering. Okay, D5. Takes. Oh, and you can't take because the Knight's here. Okay, that's the line. This is why Queen C6 first. Then the Knight centralizing. In the game though, immediate Knight D5. Queen G4 now. And it's absolutely awful. All of the white pieces streaming into the attack. Pressure here, the bishop blocks the queen, we see takes on E3, rook recaptures, and there are so many threats. You know, picture this battery with queen and bishop. Picture this knight coming to H5, threatening mate here. Pressure on the pawn also. So this one was tried by Grishchuk, hitting the rook, opening the queen's lateral defense, but it runs into pawn F4, and you're in a world of pain. Because yes, you can threaten mate. This is how the game proceeded. But Magnus can not only defend with knight to H5, opening the eyes of the queen, but he now threatens a counter checkmate if the bishop ever moved. So what to do? Queen B6 desperately tried. Many good moves, but Magnus selects this one. Holding the rook. Rook F8 is a last desperate throw of the dice. The idea being, if takes, you go rook F3, cheeky little shot. If queen takes, well, you're losing a queen. If rook takes, not possible, illegal. Opponent gets extra time if you are playing over the board. So you'd have to do this, and you've interrupted connection. So takes with check. Now still white's winning here. But anyway, why allow this, right? So Magnus instead plays King H2, and now he threatens to take. Let's show the game, because Grishchuk takes here. You know, he still couldn't move the bishop. You're crashing through. Magnus takes. No rook F3. This time the rook is not pinned. You just simply take. So this was the final move of the game. 34 move crush. Why did we see resigns here? Well, what to say? I'm trying to remember what line I was looking at. Let's say takes. And you can cover like this, but then here's a sample. You really just start kicking all of these pieces around. Just one checkmating line that I found, and this is how you could kill the king. But so many lines, as you can imagine. Final position here. Hope you enjoyed, and have a look at the video on screen if you want to see another epic game of chess. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you soon. Cheers.